Following a pretty embarrassing defeat and pretty embarrassing effort against the Brooklyn Nets, many Laker fans have given up on the team, saying that they're not good enough, JJ Redick is not a good head coach, and so on and so forth about them. But is that really the case here? Are they not a good team, or was it simply a one-off thing? And then not to mention a combination of injuries with it. After all, they were playing without Rui Hachimura, Jackson Hayes, Dorian Finney-Smith, and oh yeah, LeBron James too. And well, we're talking about half the rotation here. And then on top of that, they have the second best record in the entire NBA throughout the past 2 months now, going 20-6 in that time frame, with the best defensive rating to go with it. So are we truly looking at a collapse here for them, or simply one bad, albeit very bad game? Well, I know which way I'm leaning, and we're going to talk about what they can do about it and what adjustments they can make. But before we get too far into it, don't forget to check out G2A.com. They got your best new games like Monster Hunter Wilds, gaming gift cards, software, and much more. You can check them out in the video description down below. But now getting back to our topic. And like I mentioned before, I'm not freaking out about one game. Yes, it was a really bad game and probably one they should have won and could have won, if not for a pretty poor performance from Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves, combining to go 11 from 40 from the field, about 25%, 4 of 14 from beyond the arc, having 8 turnovers to go with it. Yes, 22 assists, and that's not a bad thing, but overall not a good game for them and not stepping up without LeBron. Though I'm really not too worried about it, and not to make an excuse for them, particularly for Luka. I mean, with the way the game was officiated last night, definitely a lot of physicality and a lot that didn't go Luka's way. Only getting to the free throw line twice, shooting 4 total free throws when he probably should have gotten way more than that. I kind of get his frustration. You know, he probably shouldn't have gotten that worked up about it and took himself out of the game at times mentally, but I kind of get it, and that definitely did contribute to it. Though apart from that, many more problems and many more that are actually fixable, not handled by the officiating or affected by it, one of which being the rotation. You know, again, they were playing without about half the rotation, guys like Hachimura, LeBron, Hayes, and Dorian Finney-Smith, a big part of the rotation. But even without them, they ran a very different and awkward rotation last night, starting with their starting lineup, including Austin Reeves and Luka Doncic, but that's the only familiar part about it. Then to go with them, Gabe Vincent, Dalton Knecht, and Alex Len. That kind of confused me, and maybe not the worst part of their game last night, but definitely a really weird part of it. I mean, I kind of get it, no Jackson Hayes, but at that point, you'd think they'd go with the guy that's been playing more within the rotation, that being Trey Jemison, and then after that, maybe roll with a guy like Christian Koloko, who definitely should get another shot in my opinion. Not go with Alex Len, who has shown pretty much nothing for their team. Didn't play terrible last night, but also didn't play good. And between Alex Len and Trey Jemison, played about 31 minutes and a whopping 2 points on 1 made field goal, 5 rebounds, 2 blocks, both of which came from Jemison, and definitely weren't that productive offensively or defensively, and not what the Lakers needed out there on the court, which led to neither of them playing much of the fourth quarter. The Lakers playing the final 9 minutes of the game without a center, having a combination of Jared Vanderbilt and Luka Doncic for their front court, and well, that really didn't work out that well for them. At times offensively, but definitely not defensively or on the rebound battle. Yes, they were heavily limited with their front court, not having LeBron, Hachimura, or Dorian Finney-Smith, so don't get too mad at it, but when they did have a different option behind them, maybe for a bigger small ball lineup, roll out a guy like Reddish, maybe try him out, or then Christian Koloko, the often forgotten two-way contract on their team, and a guy that definitely does deserve another shot in my opinion. I mean, if you're gonna roll the dice on Alex Len, then why not give Christian Koloko a shot? I get why they initially sat him down and didn't play him for about a month here. At that point, he played in about 25 games and was at risk of hitting that 50-game two-way contract limit if he would have played every game for them, so I get it. But now at this point, they have 19 games left, and Koloko has only played in 29, so he would not be at risk of hitting that 50-game limit. And with that in mind here, why not give the guy a shot? He definitely has more to offer their team than Alex Len, and probably more than Trey Jemison, at least in some matchups. And well, that might mean more production from their backup center spot if they'll give Koloko a shot. After all, he theoretically would fit pretty well with Luka Doncic. That being a big man that's a good lob threat, having a 7'5" wingspan and a great vertical leap for his size. A rim runner, definitely runs hard on the floor and a lot quicker than Trey Jemison or Alex Len for that fact. And then defensively, a whole lot more switchable than them. actually can switch a little bit, not entirely reliant on drop coverage and simply being near the rim, does have the ability to move his feet, and that might be more beneficial for a matchup like last night, or for Boston for that fact. Not to say that he definitely would have played better than they did, but who knows? Maybe he would have, and again, in theory, he is a pretty good fit with Luka Doncic in the rotation in general, and definitely a better fit for some matchups compared to Trey Jemison or Alex Slump for that fact, so why not give the guy another shot? Or then, like I referred to before, maybe give a guy like Cam Reddish another shot. I get it, Reddish doesn't like that he's not a good, reliable 3-point shooter, or the simple fact that he unfortunately can't stay healthy. He'll play about 5 to 10 games and seemingly get hurt every time after that, but for only 1 or 2 games like they probably only need him for last night or in this stretch here, why not give the guy a shot? If they're trying to go to that bigger small ball lineup, then a 6'8" with a 7'2" wingspan guy like Cam Reddish and a good defender on top of it probably could have helped them out a little bit. And who knows, we have seen the guy go on a few good 3-point shooting streaks. Yes, more bad than good, but we have seen good from him. And with a guy like Jordan Goodwin, not known for being a good 3-point shooter, but currently on a good 3-point shooting streak right now, that might be the case for Cam Reddish, and I guess they never would know until they try. Again, not saying they have to or really should play him with guys like Dorian Finney-Smith or Rui Hachimura back. At that point, no, they don't need him. But when they're not playing much like last night, then I think Reddish might be able to help them, and probably should be given a look for their bigger small ball lineup. Or if you want to take that a step further, not about including Koloko or Reddish notation, but then maybe waiving somebody and then replacing that with somebody on the open market. They technically could do that if they want to. I brought up the idea of maybe waiving a guy like Alex Len, despite it kind of being a bad look for future bio candidates. Being waived after the March 1st playoff eligibility deadline might not send a good message, but at this point, with their very minimal backup center depth and pretty hobbled and pretty poor frontcourt depth in general, they might want to take a look at it. I mean, I think they're already pretty much guaranteed to waive somebody for Jordan Goodwin, likely Cam Reddish eventually. But then on top of that, maybe having to waive Alex Len, maybe Shake Milton despite the contract potentially being good for trades in the future, or Markieff Morris despite being a good veteran leader, and I probably don't find it very likely they waive him because of it. They might want to act in it and maybe in the future here. But then apart from all that, more from an on-court adjustment standpoint and what they've been doing wrong or a little bit too much of lately, I would say that would have to be isolation ball. Letting Luka Doncic isolate, letting Austin Reeves isolate, or even LeBron before that, and kind of letting the offense go cold and stale for a bit too long. I think they've been guilty of that, and especially during their game last night. I mean, even throwing in a simple dribble handoff play, maybe running a simple horns action to get them the ball in a different spot on the court and not letting them isolate every time for about 4 to 5 possessions. That's not a good look, and yes, it can have benefits. Luka's obviously a great driving kick guy, but when the offense isn't working well and they're not particularly having a good game, much like last night, might want to go away from it and a whole lot quicker than they did last night as well. Overall though, yes, there are a few adjustments I would make, but definitely not anything drastic at this point. No, the season is not over, the world's not ending if you're a Laker fan. They're completely fine for the most part if they can get healthy and they get their team together here going forward. But with that being said, what do you guys think? How do you feel about their current and short-term outlook with their team, both in regard to health and maybe about adjustments they should make? And what do you think they should do about it? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. But I think that'll pretty much do it for this one. And if you enjoyed the video, then I'll greatly appreciate it if you dropped a like, subscribe to the channel if you have not already, and hit that notification bell to never miss out when I upload a video. But as always, thank you for watching and have a great day or night.